In this video of techniques, tips, and tricks, I will go over how I like to make my own tiny flowers. I learned some of this technique from Luke Towan, but have some of my own tricks I like to use. First, you need to get a piece of foam about 1/8 inch thick or 3mm thick for the grass tuft template. It can be as large as you like depending on how many of the grass tufts that you want to make at a time. You can also use wood for this technique as well. What you'll want to do next is cut out pieces of parchment paper that are slightly bigger than the foam, about 1/4 inch or 5mm larger on all sides. Taking a borer tool or a drill if you're working with wood, you'll want to begin to cut holes in the foam. You can also do this by hand as well with an X-Acto knife, but the borer tool makes it a breeze. Check out the link in the description to pick up your own set. I make several holes of 2 different sizes for different sized grass tufts for our flowers, but the size and shape is up to you. You don't have to just do circles if you don't want. Then using some masking tape, tape the foam down to a flat metal surface. Take some PVA glue and start applying small drops of glue in the holes, being careful not to get any on the sides of the hole. On the smaller holes of the template, I use a barbecue skewer to get the glue in without touching the sides. The next step is best done with static grass applicator, though you can apply static grass by hand with some tweezers. Static grass applicators are really great tools if you're looking to take your crafting to the next level. I personally think they are worth the cost since you can make other costly materials such as flower tufts with them quickly and easily. Using the static grass applicator, I apply 4mm grass to the template holes filled with glue. It can take a few applications of grass, so I like to use a paper plate to dump the extra grass on and pour it back into the applicator. You can use different lengths of grass to your liking. The smaller holes will keep any grass taller than the depth and width of the hole into a more narrow, tall tufts of grass, while the wider holes will make a more round tuft of grass. I generally make 4mm and 7mm tufts here and tend not to go much taller than that when I'm making tufts for flowers for reasons we will cover in just a minute. Once you've applied enough grass, remove the template. I like to take some watered down Mod Podge and drip a drop on each grass tuft. While this step isn't crucial, it can make them a bit stronger. Set them aside to dry completely before you move on to the next steps. I would not recommend taking them off of the parchment paper until you're ready to apply them to your project. As you can see, there's some nice tufts of grass just waiting to bloom, or not. I painted some of the grass tufts with a sage-colored spray paint to create some variety. Depending on how many different colors of flowers you want to make, cut the grass tufts into groups. Tape them to a plate and brush on some PVA glue. Be sure to brush the glue along the tips of the grass only. Then apply your foam flocking of choice. Using a finer foam flocking is best as it is more to scale when dealing with miniatures. If you haven't watched the techniques, tips, and tricks video where I made this flock, go check it out along with some other similar videos on my channel. Once everything is dry, you'll have a nice assortment of flower tufts, or grass tufts if you want. You can now simply peel these from the parchment paper, add a drop of PVA glue, and apply it to your project. Another great flower tip is to take some 12mm static grass, just one piece, dip the tip into some PVA glue, then dip it into some fine sand. Dip the other end into the glue again, and then apply it to a clump of flowers or even just grass tufts for taller flowers. You can paint the sand once it's dry, or just leave it as is, depending on the color of your sand. This is why I don't make grass tufts taller than 7mm, so you can have these kind of taller flowers poking out the top. You can also use the same method with foam flocking. That's going to do it for this video of techniques, tips, and tricks. I hope you learned something here. Honestly, these are a really great way to kind of improve and beautify your projects. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button, consider subscribing for more videos like this in the future, and go check out the series. Thanks, and I'll see you in the next video.